love, betrayal, and villains you'll absolutely hate. Ishq Mein Tere Sadqay really has it all. So today, let's break down the first 9 episodes of this intense drama. Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to review and narrate the first 9 episodes of Ishq Mein Tere Sadqay. I was actually looking for a drama with strong characters, an engaging story, and villains you genuinely love to hate. And this one caught my attention right from the very first episode. The story has emotional conflicts, hidden motives, and some shocking twists that completely change the way you see the characters. So, if you're curious about what happens in these first 9 episodes, make sure you stick around till the end. Story starts by showing us two completely different lives. On one side, we have Zulfiqar Shah. He's rich, powerful, and clearly used to getting his way. His introduction tells us a lot about his personality. He gets into an argument with a group of teenagers playing cricket on the road and reacts very aggressively. So, right away, we see that Zulfiqar has a very short temper. But despite his intimidating personality, there is one person who completely softens him, his wife, Hoor, who seems modern, kind, and genuinely caring. She clearly loves Zulfikar deeply and even prepares a cake for him as a sweet surprise. The relationship looks loving at first, but very quickly we start noticing something else. Zulfikar's love for Hoor is very intense, almost too intense. He becomes extremely possessive and cannot stand the idea of anyone else even looking at her wrongly. At the same time, somewhere else in the city, another girl is living a life that couldn't be more different. Noor is a college student, but instead of enjoying a normal life, she spends most of her time doing household chores. She lives with her father, her stepmother, and two stepsisters who constantly order her around. They treat her less like family and more like someone who's there to serve them. We soon learn that Noor's mother passed away when she was just 1 year old. After that, her father remarried, and Noor grew up in a home where she had to quietly tolerate a lot of unfair treatment. Her father, Ahmed, knows that Noor struggles, but he rarely stands up for her. Instead, he often tells her to be patient and compromise, saying that since she is the elder, she should keep peace in the family. But Noor does have one person who truly cares about her aunt, who's Ahmed's sister. Years ago, Ahmed helped her sister when she was starting a business. Today, she has become very wealthy and she still remembers that help. Because of this, she loves Noor deeply and treats her almost like her own daughter. Her aunt also has a son named Salar, and although Noor has never said it out aloud, she has had a crush on him since childhood. So now the story has introduced us to two very different worlds, but soon enough, those worlds are going to start connecting in unexpected ways. As the story continues, we begin to understand more about Zulfikar's past. And once we see his childhood, his anger suddenly makes a lot more sense. Zulfikar did not grow up in a warm or loving home. His father is extremely strict and temperamental. Even the smallest mistake could lead to punishment. Instead of encouragement, Zulfikar grew up surrounded by fear and pressure. And that's not the only issue. His father also has another wife living in the US, which already tells us quite a bit about his character. Now he has another plan. For business reasons, he wants Zulfikar to marry his business partner's daughter Maria, but there's one obvious problem. Zulfikar is already married to Hoor. When Zulfikar refuses, his father becomes extremely angry. To him, business deals are more important than his son's feelings. But while this conflict is happening, something beautiful also happens in Zulfikar's life. Hoor finds out that she is pregnant. For the first time, we see Zulfikar genuinely happy. The couple is excited and begins imagining their future with their child. Hoor also gently encourages Zulfikar to get help for his anger issues, hoping he can become calmer for the sake of their family. For a short time, it feels like things might finally start getting better. But unfortunately, that happiness doesn't last long. Zulfikar's father is still determined to push the marriage with Maria. After trying to pressure Zulfikar for so long and failing, he decides to do something terrible. He secretly tampers with the brakes of Hoor's car. His plan is simple. If Hoor is gone, nothing will stop the marriage alliance. But fate has other plans. At the last moment, Zulfiqar decide to go with Hoor in the car. And then the accident happens. The car loses control. The crash is devastating. And by the time help arrives, Hoor has died. Zulfiqar survives, but the loss completely shatters him. The woman who was carrying his child is suddenly gone. Even after he physically recovers, he remains deeply broken. But unbelievably, his father still doesn't stop pushing his agenda. Soon after the tragedy, he once again asks Zulfikar to marry Maria. And once again, Zulfikar refuses. But while Zulfikar is dealing with grief, another dark story is unfolding somewhere else. On Noor's side of the story, we begin learning more about Salah. At first, he seems confident and charming, but slowly we start seeing another side of him. Salah is dating a girl named Arushma, but his mother doesn't really like her. One reason is how disrespectfully she treats Noor. Then we discover something even darker. One of Salah's ex girlfriends suddenly approaches him and demands that he marry her. Instead of dealing with the situation honestly, Salah threatens her. He tells her he has an intimate video of him and that he will expose her if she causes problems. But the girl turns out to be smarter than he expects. She secretly records him while he's threatening her. Then she demands money in exchange for deleting the recording. What happens next shows just how dangerous Salah really is. Instead of paying her, he calls some of his friends and together they shoot her. Suddenly, the charming boy Noor has admired for years looks like someone completely different. But Noor has no idea about any of this because her own life is about to take a shocking turn. Back at Noor's house, her stepmother decides it's finally time to arrange Noor's marriage. She even sends Noor's photo to potential families, so a proposal comes. The groom lives in Dubai and owns a successful business. The moment Noor's stepmother hears this, greed takes over. Instead of sending Noor to meet the groom's family, she sends her own daughter Mavish, pretending that she is Noor. At first, the groom's family is confused by the change, but Mavish is attractive and confident, so they decide not to question it too much. And just like that, they agree to the marriage. Wedding preparation begins. But during this celebration, the difference in how the daughters are treated becomes very obvious. Mavish is pampered and celebrated, while Noor, the girl who was originally meant to be the bride, is pushed aside once again. Even Noor's father starts noticing that something isn't right, and the person who seems most uncomfortable in the situation is Noor's birthday aunt. She feels that something is wrong, but she doesn't yet know the full truth. But the drama doesn't end there. During this time, Noor's younger sister Farah begins flirting with Salah. She openly tries to impress and seduce him, but Salah makes it very clear that he looks down on middle class people and has no interest in someone like her. Still, Farah refuses to give up, and her growing obsession with Salah might soon create even more problems in this already complicated story. But just when you think things can't get any more dramatic, the story reveals its biggest twisted. The truth about Noor and Hoor. For the entire time, the story makes it seem like they were simply two different women living completely different lives. But that's not actually the case. Noor and Hoor are twins. Years ago, when they were born, their father made a heartbreaking decision. He separated the twins at birth. One baby who was given to a relative living in the US, where she grew up in wealth and comfort. While Noor stayed with her father, growing up in a home filled with neglect and hardship. Two sisters, the same face, completely different lives. One lived with love and privilege, the other lived with struggle and sacrifice. And now, Hoor is gone, which raises a very unsettling question. What will happen when Zulfikar eventually meets Noor, the woman who looks exactly like his late wife? Will he see her as a stranger, or will he start seeing her as a replacement for the love he lost? And when the truth about the twins finally comes out, how many lives will it destroy? Because believe it or not, the story is only getting started. The next part, Zulfi will come face to face with someone who looks exactly like Hoor. Salah's dark secrets will begin catching up with him, and Noor's life is about to take a turn she never expected. If you want to see what happens next in this intense chapter, make sure you don't